Hi guys, welcome to another live stream. Hope you're all okay. Now, as you'll all probably know, if you've seen the promo thumbnail, this is going to be a special theme about werewolf movies. So, if you've got a particular favourite werewolf movie, all-time favourite Wolfman, please feel free, to voice your preferences. Yeah. Before I start, I'd just like to show you this book, guys. It's werewolf movies. It's a kind of an encyclopedia, so it's absolutely packed with the well-known werewolf movies, and ones many ones what I've never heard of. So I'm going, as I did in the other video, I'm going to use this as a prompt, to prompt any conversations about any obscure werewolf movies. Yeah. Okay, I've got another book there to show you in a minute. Yeah. Now, another thing I should say, guys, I've experimented tonight with the sound. I wasn't satisfied with the last couple of live streams. So what I've done, I've changed the microphone to the one in the built in my laptop. So let me know how the sound is, guys. Yeah, okay. So that's it then. So I'm just going to get into the comments now. Right. Brian's here. Hi, Alan. Hope you're well. I'm great. Thanks, Brian. Hope you are, mate. Yeah. Oh, another thing I should say, guys. If you see me going like this throughout the course of the events, that is a signal that we've got about 20 rants. I'm just going to give you the sign. Yeah, so you know what I mean. If you see me holding my nose, you know what it is. I'm not going to give these people any airtime verbally. So I've appointed a couple of moderators anyway. So yeah, so let's just see how it goes anyway. So as I say, guys, let me know about the sound, if you can hear me all right. Yeah, because I say I've tried the other microphone tonight just to see how it goes. Yeah. Okay. Fastbear Brothers, hi Alan, hope you're well. Looking forward to seeing this stream. Oh, great, thanks. Yeah, thanks for turning up. Nice to see you again. Gerard is a movie fan. Hello, Alan, and the others who are here. You okay? Thanks for dropping by. Gina's here again. You're right. All right, Gina. Hi, Alan, and everyone. Thanks for dropping by, Gina. Richard Brown, werewolf. Where, Alan? I'm here now. Brian Gilson. Hi, everyone. You okay, Brian? Tony Crosby. Hello, Alan and all. That's, yeah, very appropriate, yeah, considering tonight's theme. Yeah, the great Lon Chaney Jr, my all-time favourite Wolfman. Nobody, I've said this before, nobody can play the Wolfman like Lon Chaney Jr. Fantastic, yeah. Right, here we go. Pete's here. You alright, Pete? Evening, Alan, and everyone in the chat. Yeah, thanks for turning up, Pete. Yeah, and thanks for accepting my invitation to be a moderator. Yeah, cheers, mate. Right, Chestnuts have 7. Good evening, Alan, and everyone. You okay? Thanks for turning up. Lewis Clark, you okay, Lewis? Hi, Alan. How are you doing, mate? Hope you're well. I'm fine, thanks, Lewis. Hope you are too. Yeah. Hope you've had a nice week. Hope you've been watching some good movies. Yeah, I've been watching. I got that those two Boris Karloff Eureka sets, and that there's 3 movies on each one, and up to now I have to say, guys, I've been sorely disappointed with them. I really have. Yeah, they're not among Karloff's best movies. Yeah, so I'll put the first one on eBay. So I think I've got one more movie to watch on the second one, and if I don't like that, that's going to be thrown on eBay. Well, I most probably will throw it on eBay, because when I buy a box set, I like all the movies to be good and that. But I'm a huge fan of Boris Karloff. But these Eureka, 3 movie sets, as I say, really disappointed with them. Brian Gilson, you sound good, Alan. Oh, that's great. Yeah, thanks, Brian. That's nice to know. Yeah, as I say, I've experimented tonight. I've reverted to the microphone built into my laptop rather than using the microphone that came with my camera. So that's good. That's good to know. Thanks, mate. Gina Walpole, the sound is fine. Oh, thanks very much, Gina. Yeah, that's good to know. Yeah, I'm always, when I start, I'm always like, I know I've been doing it for a while now. I'm always a little bit, jittery about doing like a sort of like a live stream through StreamYard in case anything goes wrong, and that as happened in the past. Once or twice with the settings and that, so it's good to know that the sound's okay and that, and presumably, well, obviously the visuals are okay. Yeah. If there's any problems, guys, don't hesitate to let me know, because I always like to iron them out. Melanie Gilson's here. Good evening, Alan. You okay, Mel? Thanks for turning up. Hope you've had a nice week. Watched some good movies. Mac tonight, give me your best werewolf impression. I can't, mate, I'm sorry. I just watch werewolf movies and that's where it ends. Pete's saying, no worries, mate, it's always a pleasure watching your streams. Oh, thanks very much, Pete, yeah, appreciate it, yeah, and thanks for turning up. Pete again, thoughts on Dog Soldiers? Not one of my favourites, Pete. No, I mean, I know a lot of people do like it, and I know a lot of people bought that new box set, haven't they? I think you bought it as well, haven't you? Was it the 4K you bought? Yeah, yeah. It's not really a big favourite werewolf movie of mine, but as I say, I know a lot of people do like it. Dr. Impossible. I've just lit a firework and you're on, Alan. Evening, Dr. Horror. Right. Ricky Kilby. Hello, Alan. You okay, Ricky? What are your thoughts on the 2020 Wolfman movie? I enjoyed it. I did like I tell you what, I did like the special effects. I loved the way he changed. I loved that part, especially when he was in the, all the doctors were sort of like surrounding him, weren't they? Was it like a prison psychiatric unit he was in? I loved that part, and where he bounded over the rooftops and that. I thought the makeup was very, very good, yeah. And but having said that, I didn't think it was as good as the Lon Chaney Jr. in terms of the storyline and the character of Lawrence Talbot. I didn't think Talbot was quite as sort of like you can sympathise with him. He didn't have the same pathos as Lon Chaney Jr. did in the original Wolfman movies, but it wasn't a bad movie. But it's not as good as the Wolfman, the 1941 Wolfman starring Lon Chaney Jr. Yeah, but it was okay. It was okay. Right. Vasbear Brothers saying Dog Soldiers, one of my favourites, werewolf horrors, yeah. Lewis Clark, just watched the original Poltergeist, has got the new 4K, looks amazing, great transfer, and now watching the original Hellraiser as we speak, yeah. Tony Crosby, the worst werewolf movie I've ever seen is An American Werewolf in Paris. Yeah, I'm not too keen on that one myself, so yeah, it's not as good as the American Werewolf in London. That's a fantastic movie, that. American Werewolf in London. I can watch that anytime. Absolutely love it, especially the part where at the beginning, like where they go to the inn and that, and all those like sort of like quirky characters in the country inn and that. The Slaughtered Lamb, I think it's called, isn't it? The inn, and when they go out on the moors and that, and where this mate gets attacked and that. Oh, that's one of the most horrific scenes I've ever seen in any horror movie, really. Less alone a werewolf movie. The way the wolf attacks him and that, and rips into shreds. Yeah, oh yeah, really horrific, that. Yeah, oh yeah, I love American Werewolf in London, and the part where he has the nightmares as well with those monsters dressed as German soldiers and that, and of course Jenny Agutter's really on the money in it as well. Yeah, oh yeah, I love American Werewolf in London. Mac tonight, Dog Soldiers is great. The ballet dancers are the actual werewolf movie. Yeah. Richard Brown, the werewolf segment in Dr. Terror's House of Horrors. I haven't seen that one for a while, so I don't remember too much about it, but I do recall enjoying it. Yeah, I love Dr. Terror's House of Horrors, but as I say, there's some of the stories like are a bit vague because I haven't watched it for a while, but yeah, great movie. Miserable Old Git. Hi Alan, you okay, mate? Hi guys, Werewolf Lon Chaney Jr. was a star, fell for him as he did not want to kill, unlike the werewolves and Dog Soldiers. Yeah, that's right, yeah, 7-foot killers. Yeah, that's the trouble, guys, with a lot of these modern werewolf movies. The character, the human character, you don't really feel the same degree of pathos. Or you do feel sorry for them, but you don't feel sorry for them in the way that Lon Chaney Jr. incurred pity, the way he portrayed Larry Talbot and that, right from when he got bit, when he's protecting the girl in the forest and that, right from that moment to that, when he pleaded with his dad, to lock him up, to sort of like tie him to the chair and take the cane, the cane with the wolf's head and that. I don't think anybody's matched Lon Chaney Jr.'s consummate skill in portraying a tortured lycanthrope, the way he did in that movie. Fantastic performance, and I love the way he came back as well in Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman, where the grave robbers broke into his crypt and that, and his body was all preserved and that. He had wolfbane over him, but the grave robbers were shocked to see his body after being dead for 4 years. He'd had his head battered in by his dad with the wolf stick, and his body was preserved in the crypt. So when the two fellas broke in to rob the jewellery off his hands and that, he woke up and he grabbed the wrist of one of them and that. Well, of course, all hell broke loose, didn't it? Because he transformed back into the Wolfman. But oh yeah, that's one of the most iconic nerve-wracking scenes in horror movie history where Frankenstein meets the Wolfman. And Bela Lugosi played the Frankenstein monster. Of course, you guys have seen it, you know exactly what I mean. But oh yeah, I love Talbot, the way he came back in those werewolf movies, you know. The Wolfman, Frankenstein meets the Wolfman, The House of Dracula, Boris Karloff, The House of Frankenstein, sorry, The House of Dracula, where he got cured, and then Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein, which I tend to look on as a kind of spoof horror movie, yeah. But oh yeah, he was one of the most iconic characters in horror movie history. Lon Chaney Jr. is Larry Talbot, and he had you know, his face as well. He could convey like pity, couldn't he? You know, he had that like sort of sad face, didn't he? You know, he actually thought he was cursed and that. And I tell you what I loved in the werewolf movies as well. Well, she was only in 2. The little gypsy woman, Maliva, whose son Baylor was responsible for turning Talbot into the werewolf, yeah. She was in Frankenstein meets the Wolfman, because he goes looking for her, and he finds her in Europe and that, and then she says, I know a man who can help you. And of course it turns out to be Dr. Frankenstein, doesn't it? Of all people. Well, of course he's dead by the time he gets to Visaria, whatever it is. Frankenstein's well gone and that, so of course, yeah. Well, I won't give away any more of that movie in case you haven't seen it, but that's a classic, that one, Frankenstein meets the Wolfman. Gene is saying, An American Werewolf in London is my favourite werewolf movie. Yeah, I'd wholeheartedly agree with you there, Gina. It's a fantastic movie, American Werewolf in London. I never get tired of watching it. You know, it's absolute classic. You know, it really is. Yeah, there you go. There's the poster. You can see it. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, the special effects were great in that, especially the scenes in the railway station. You know, where it goes after that businessman and that. Oh yeah, fantastic. Real scary werewolf that, and the end as well, where it's rampaging through the streets on all fours, and oh, real blood kill. Oh, and of course the transformation as well. Oh my God, what? Oh, I tell you what, guys, they did a great job with that, didn't they? That transformation scene. Oh my word, fantastic. Melanie Gilson, to play Tendo Guy, I like Dog Soldiers, yeah. Yeah, as I say, a lot of people do like Dog Soldiers, yeah. Lewis Clark puts it to piece. I just bought the Scream Factory 4K of Dog Soldiers, looks great, right? Yeah, a lot of people bought that, didn't they, the 4K of Dog Soldiers. Gina Walpole saying, I like Dog Soldiers as well. A lot of love for Dog Soldiers tonight, yeah. Yeah. What I'm going to do in a minute, guys, I'm going to flick through that book and I'm going to shout out some titles and let me know, you know, if you've seen them. As I say, there's a lot of obscure werewolf movies in this, yeah. But there's Lon Chaney Jr. there at the back, yeah. But these actually, this Fright Fest banner, these are actually a series of horror books. I've got about 4 more there, and they all deal with a specific topic of horror. You know, be it exploitation, be it vampires. Which is, well, they just bought one out about vampires, ghost movies. I've got them all, so I'm certainly going to get the vampire one. But they're fantastic, these guys, and as I say, in full colour. You know, absolutely fantastic books. You know, if you love your horror movies as much as I do, I'd highly recommend that you get yourself copies of these Fright Fest guides. Are fantastic, but more on them later. Matt tonight, Wolf Cop is fun werewolf film with an interesting place for the transformation to take place. I've seen bits of Wolf Cop on the Horror Channel. I haven't seen it right through, and he done a Wolf Cop 2, didn't he? Yeah, I tell you, it's a comedy. Like, it was a comedy, wasn't it? From what I can gather, I tell you, one werewolf comedy I wasn't too keen on, Teen Wolf. And if you guys seen that one, Teen Wolf, yeah, I wasn't a big fan of that one. Right. The Friendly Men, Alan, I'm watching Dracula 2000. Oh right, is that the one? Isn't that the one where he's? Oh, well, I won't spoil for you, but I think it must be the same one. Right, Chestnut 7 is saying The Curse of the Werewolf was probably my favourite. Oh, with the late Grace Oliver Reed, I love that one as well. Yeah, I'd rank him right up there with Lon Chaney Jr. and the guy in the American Werewolf movie. Yeah, fantastic, those three. You know, oh yeah, Oliver Reed, he was really on the money playing Leon in that Hammer movie. Yeah, I love Curse of the Werewolf. I've got the Scream Factory guys of that. Lovely edition. It's got a nice slipcover as well. Yeah, oh, that's a great one. That Curse of the Werewolf. Yeah, especially the scene in the prison, you know, the poor girl and that gets raped by that beggar, that hairy beggar, and she gives birth to Leon and that. Oh yeah, that's one of Hammer's best, yeah. It was funny when you think about it. Hammer didn't continue. Hammer, a lot of people thought he did, but Hammer didn't continue with the werewolf genre. They just done the Curse of the Werewolf and that was it. Unlike Universal movies, or he done the Wolfman. You know, they done a series of the Wolfman, as I say, but for some reason Hammer didn't bother. They've done a couple of mummy films as well. And of course, they've done quite a few Frankensteins and Draculas, but for some reason, they didn't carry on doing the werewolf genre. Pete saying, thoughts on the Wolfman with Benicio del Toro. Yeah, as I said before, Pete, I love the transformation scenes and that, and the part where he was in the prison and that, and he broke out and that, and he killed all those doctors, didn't he, and that, and he got out, and he sort of like rampaged like on the streets, and he went on the rooftops, didn't he? Yeah. Oh yeah. I love the transformation, and I like the makeup, but the story and the character, the Larry Talbot part, I didn't think it was as good as Lon Chaney's Larry Talbot, if you know what I mean. Because Lon Chaney did elicit a lot of sympathy. You really felt sorry for him, you know, and you know, all he wanted to do was be cured, and if he couldn't be cured, he wanted to die, you know. And he went all over the world looking for a cure, you know. And of course, he fought a few monsters along the way, didn't he? You know, for example, the Frankenstein monster. But yeah, I don't think anybody. I know a lot of people might think the Lon Chaney Jr. Wolfman might be a bit corny because he wears the same shirt, doesn't he? With the breast pockets in every movie and that, and then even in the Wolfman, when his dad ties him to the chair, he's in his vest. But when you see him, when he's changing, you just see his feet go all hairy, and then you see the feet padding out, and then he's in the woods, isn't he? But when you see the Wolfman, you know, the full form of him, he's got that bloody shirt on. You're not telling me he changed from his vest to that breast shirt along the way, surely? But I thought they were a bit lax with that Universal, you know, the famous shirt with the breast pockets and that. He wears it in every blooming movie. But having said that, you know, I don't think he can beat Lon Chaney Jr. You know, when it comes to playing you know, Wolfman. He's my all-time favourite. Yeah, you really felt for him as well. You really wanted him to be cured, you know. Richard Brown saying Howl, the one on the train, is quite good. I've got that one, Richard. Yeah, it's a good one, that. British horror. Yeah, I've got Howl. Yeah, I love Howl. Yeah, it's a great one, that. Right, Gerard is a movie fan to Tony Crosby. I enjoyed it very much, parts, but for me, in the Netherlands, it is very, very difficult to find, right? Lewis Clark, I love An American Werewolf in London. My favourite werewolf movie of all time, but I am one of a very few who does enjoy An American Werewolf in Paris. Yeah, there's a few people that do like that one. Yeah, American Werewolf in Paris. It's actually in this book. So what I'm going to do now then, guys, as promised, I'm going to shout out a few werewolf movies what you might have seen, So let me know, you know, if I shout a movie out and you've seen it, let me know what you thought of it. I'm just going to do, you know, just like at random, really. So right, I've got one here. Called Carnivore, guys. Anybody seen that one? Carnivore. That's one. I think I saw that a couple of years ago. I don't think I was too keen on it. Right. Here's another one. I haven't seen this one. Wolf House. I haven't seen that one. Lovely photos, guys, in this book. Where? That's a good one. Where? Yeah, that's a good one. There's a couple of foreign werewolf movies here in here. Oh, there's the Wolfman. The remake, yeah. Yeah, Anthony Hopkins. The Boy Who Cried Werewolf. Has anybody seen that one? The Boy Who Cried Werewolf. Let me know. I haven't seen that one. Half Moon, that's another one. The Beast Beneath, that's one I haven't seen. The Beast Beneath. Yeah, so they're just a few, guys. Anyway, let me know if you've seen any of them. Yeah, I love those books and that, you know, because a lot of, you know, they've got quite a few obscure, you know, as well as well-known ones, as I say. They've got quite a few obscure ones in them. So let me know if you've seen them and what you thought of them. Right, back to the comments. Right. Brian is saying to Richard Brown, Howl is really good. I'd certainly second that. Yeah, I love Howl. It's a great one, that. Mac tonight, Agatha was stunning in Werewolf in London. She could be my nurse anytime. I know what you mean. Yeah, she's a very attractive lady, Jenny Agatha, isn't she? Yeah, she was in The Railway Children, wasn't she? Yeah, I believe they've remade that, haven't they? The Railway Children. Yeah, like you said, Bernard Cribbins was good in that, wasn't he? Yeah, he died recently. He was a great actor, Bernard Cribbins, and Sally Thompson was in it, wasn't she? Who played Jo in Man About the House. Right. You know what I mean, don't you? Say no more. Richard Brown, are you going to have a werewolf break like in The Beast Must Die, Alan? I don't think so. No, I don't think so. Right, just bear with me, guys. And just let's get past a couple of the you-know-whos. Right, Mac tonight is saying werewolves are really quite tragic monsters. They are, yeah, definitely. When you think about it, baby, yeah. Lewis Clark, the original Howling is another favourite of mine, and the Studio Canal 4K looks amazing. I've got it, yeah, it's a good transfer, yeah, I like the Howling, yeah. I've got the books as well by Gary Brandner. Patrick McNee was good in that as well, the first one. Tony Crosby says, the two scaries... Oh, hang on a minute, guys, I've got a bit of a problem here with the ring lights. Just went off, yeah. Bear with me. We've had the what's-her-names in today. We've had the we've had the electrician in. You know, we haven't had to change a couple of the sockets and that. You know, so if anything happens, like like that, it's to do with the the electric and that. Yeah. Right. Okay. Tony Crosby. The two scariest parts in London for me is the dream sequence and the shot of the escalator. Yeah. With the werewolf walking into shot, yeah, that's a great one. That, yeah, oh yeah. Do you know what? I think that American Werewolf in London is an absolute masterpiece. It really is. It's so synonymous, isn't it, with werewolf horror? And they've done the in regards to the comedic elements. I thought they layered that on pretty well. They didn't make it too ridiculous like they have with the Freddy Krueger. They made them too ridiculous. I don't think I'll ever watch another Freddy Krueger movie again. But that American Werewolf in London, it's fantastic. The way what they done with it and that, it's absolutely fantastic. John Landis and that, he's such a consummate director. Yeah, sorry about this, guys. If this keeps going off and on all the time, I'm going to have to switch it off. There you go. Sorry about this. Right, Mac tonight. Werewolf in Paris was awful sequel with cringe comedy. Yeah. I'll have to leave that now, guys. It's going off all the time. So as long as you can still see me. I've got the ordinary bedroom lights on in here, so I've had a lot of trouble with those ring lights. I've had quite a few of them now, and they've all been crap, But I must admit, this one has been the longest it's lasted me. But just one of those things, I suppose. Dr. Impossible, you okay, Doctor? The BBC did an anthology series called Supernatural in the 1970s, yeah? I remember it. One episode called The Werewolf Reunion was particularly good. Billy Whitelaw and Ian Hendry and the ever-creeping hairy beasts, yeah? Love some of those 1970s horrors. Right, just scroll up. Mac tonight is saying Blue, 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 Blue Moon. Love that song at the end of the film. Yeah, I love Blue Moon. Yeah, one of my all-time favourite pop songs. That, yeah, I love that one. I'd say another I like Bad Moon Rising by Creedence Clearwater Revival. Yeah, I think that came out around about, was it 1969? I love that one. Yeah, whenever I hear that song, I always say like, oh, there you go. There's the werewolf song. Yeah, I love that. I love Bad Moon Rising. Melanie Gibson saying, I love The Company of Wolves by Neil Jordan. Yeah. Pete saying, thoughts on The Howling and its sequel with Christopher Lee. I thought it wasn't a bad movie, the sequel, Christopher Lee, Pete. Yeah, I quite liked it, yeah. And the original, of course, the first one with Patrick McNee, yeah, I thought they were both good movies. But as the series went on, the quality, I must admit, the quality did dip. But those first two, I've got them in my collection. Yeah, oh yeah, I thought they were pretty good. Of course, the first one was my favourite. But as I say, the one with Christopher Lee, and I thought it wasn't a bad little movie, that. Quite enjoyed it. Right. Tony Crosby is saying to Dr. Impossible, I've got that Supernatural set. Marvellous it is, yeah. Lewis Clark, Melanie, Company of Wolves is an awesome movie, yeah. Tell you what, guys, there's a werewolf movie come out. I don't know if it's is it Synapse? Is it Moon of the Wolf? David Jansen, you know, the guy that used to play The Fugitive. He's in it. I do recall it being shown in the 70s on, I think it was ITV. That's just come out on Blu-ray, so I might pick that one up. Yeah, with David Jansen in. He was a good actor. David Jansen, yeah, best known for The Fugitive. Chestnut 7 is saying those Fright Fest books look lovely, Alan. They are, yeah. As I say, I've got them all here, so I'm going to get the vampire one. The vampire one's just come out, and oh yeah, they're fantastic books. They really are. And if you're a horror fan, you know, you could do no worse than get, you know, treat yourself to these. Yeah, they've got the exploitation, monster movies, and ghost movies. So I'm just hold them up, guys, and see if you can see them. There you go. Yeah, fantastic they are, these Fright Fest. Absolutely loved them. Yeah, they did a real good job. Now this starts off like, you know, there's a good painting of Oliver Reed, A Curse of the Werewolf. They start off like basically the history of werewolf movies and that, you know. And then, as I say, like, you know, you've got a lot of obscure movies in here. And yeah, there's the Great American Werewolf in London, guys. They've got a lot of obscure werewolf movies in here. As I say, a lot of which I've never even heard of, yeah. I'll just shout out a few more, guys. The Legend of the Wolf Woman. I haven't seen that one. The Legend of the Wolf Woman. Looks a good one. The Werewolf and the Yeti. Paul Naschy. Anybody fans of Paul Naschy? He was a kind of like a Spanish Lon Chaney Jr. He made a lot of foreign horror movies, yeah. He made a lot of werewolf movies, yeah. I think the werewolf character was called Deminsky, yeah. I think he made about 5 or 6 of them, Deminsky, but he played the werewolf, yeah. Oh yeah, very, very popular actor, Paul Naschy, yeah. Here's another one. Here, there's Paul Naschy, guys. You can see. There he is. Yeah. Frankenstein's Bloody Terror. There's the great Lon Chaney Jr. Oh, this is the House of the Black Death. This is one of his later movies, guys. I haven't got that one in my collection. I'll go back to that later on. I've got another book here I'd like to show you, but I'll show you that later on. Get back to the comments now. Richard Brown, Children of the Full Moon from Hammer House of Horror. Yeah, the one with Diana Dawes. I love that one. That's a great one, that. Yeah, fantastic, yeah. All the kids in the house, the big country house. Yeah, I love Diana Dawes, yeah. She's made some great movies here, you know. Fantastic actress. I tell you what I like that in, guys. I've spoke about this before. You know, the Brian Clemens thriller series that was shown in the 1970s. There was an episode in that. It really creeped me out when I watched it as a kid. She plays this kind of demonic nurse, and she goes to look after this girl who's sick in bed. This like a well-off family. It's called Nurse Will Make It Better. Now, if you get the Brian Clemens thriller box set, I highly suggest that's one of the first ones you watch. Nurse Will Make It Better. She's supposed to be like the devil in a you know, like human form. Oh yeah, really creeped me out that when I watched it in I think it was around about February 1975. Yeah, but watch out for that one if you get the Brian Clemens box set. Nurse Will Make It Better. She's real creepy in that. Yeah, the way she goes into the room and that, you know, and the poor girl's lying in bed and that, and she sort of like comes over to her, like, sort of soothingly at first and that, and all of a sudden, without warning, punches her in the face. Oh yeah, you want to watch that one, guys. It's a real good one, that. Nurse Will Make It Better. Chestnut 7 is saying those Fright Fest books. Oh yeah, we've had that one, sorry. Gina Walpole, Game of Werewolves is a Spanish comedy horror and quite enjoyable. Yeah. Dr. Impossible, Tony, it's slow burn and not many people would take to it today, but Supernatural is atmospheric and tastefully acted. Yeah. Tony Crosby saying to Melanie Gibson, I love the wedding party sequence in Company of Wolves. Yeah. Tony Crosby to Dr. Impossible, agree. Yeah. Have you, guys, in your horror movie collection, have you got any good werewolf movies? Maybe some I haven't seen. Yeah, feel free to voice them. I'm always, I'm all ears when it comes to werewolf movies and that. Well, I'm all ears for any kind of new horror movie or obscure. But yeah, if you've got any good werewolf movies, tell me about them. Yeah, and I'm sure the other people will be very, very interested. Yeah. Melanie Gilson to Tony Crosby. Yes, when they all change. Black Panther spoilers. In Black Panther, we don't want any spoilers, do we? No spoilers. No, we won't. Sorry guys, I just don't want anybody's movies ruined, if you haven't seen them. Matt tonight, whatever is the matter with people spoiling films? I know, yeah. Dr. Impossible is saying Eric Red's Bad Moon is pretty decent. I've heard of that one. Some of the transformation sequences are somewhat dodgy, but the end process is a decent werewolf. The film didn't perform well at the box office for Morgan Creek, right? Tony Crosby says Silver Bullet is very underrated. Yeah, it's a good one, that. Silver Bullet, Stephen King story, isn't it? Brian Gilson, one of my favourites is Silver Bullet. Yeah. Gina Walpole, I love Silver Bullet. Yeah, a lot of love for Silver Bullet tonight. Anybody seen a movie called The Boy Who Cried Werewolf? I've heard a lot of good things about that. The Boy Who Cried Werewolf. I don't think I've actually seen it, and I've seen a hell of a lot of werewolf movies in my time. But yeah, The Boy Who Cried Werewolf. If you've seen it, guys, let me know what it's like. Richard Brown saying there was one set in Ireland, had something to do with Irish wolfhounds, but I can't remember the title. Right? There's a lot of folklore in Ireland, isn't there? Yeah, I saw a book in Waterstones a couple of weeks ago. Irish folk stories. Yeah, they're good. Those folk story books. They give you sort of like give you an insight into the into the country, its history and that, and all these little communities and that. And some pretty strange things went on. Years ago in some of those communities. Yeah, so I love a good folk story. When I was a kid, I used to love me mum telling me read me fairy stories. When I was in bed and that, used to love a good fairy story. The Andrew Lang and the Grimm's fairy tales, Yeah. While we're on the subject of fairy tales, guys, I don't know if you know or not, but I'm reading the Stephen King, the new one, Fairy Tale, his new novel. I'll tell you what, guys, I'm really disappointed with it. It's basically, I don't want to give too much away in case you haven't read it. It's basically about this guy and that, and he goes to look after this old guy and that, and he's got a dog, the old guy, and when he dies, the lad takes over the dog, take control of it. But this old guy, he's got like this shed, and it's a kind of a portal to another world. I won't tell you too much about it in case you haven't seen it, but it's a kind of a portal to another world, and it's like Narnia, but nowhere near as good as Narnia. The story really dragged, so I gave up just halfway through. I thought, and I love Stephen King, but yeah, it's not one of his best books, guys. I might do a review of that in a future video, but yeah, very, very disappointed with it. I really am. Yeah. Right. Fazbear Brothers is saying Silver Bullet is a very underrated film, but one of my favourites. Yeah. Dr. Impossible, I couldn't hack Silver Bullet. It's very underwhelming. Book's good though. Chestnut 7 Jenny Agutter in Walkabout. I haven't seen that. Is that the one set in Australia where she's walking around the outback with the lad? It rings a vague bell, that. Yeah. I'm sure that's the one where she walks through the Australian bush with the lad. Yeah, if it's the same one, I wasn't too keen on that. While we're on the subject of Australian movies, guys, have you seen a movie called Picnic at Hanging Rock? It's about these this like school, you know, girls' school. They all go into the Australian outback and that. It's a kind of like a picnic and that, and they go by this rock, and one or two disappear without tracing. They don't know where they are. You know, a lot of people thought it actually happened, but it was fiction. But yeah, I watched the movie just over a year ago, and it started off good, but then it got a little bit slow. Because they were investigating, you know, they were sort of like they were sort of like putting these theories forward about what could have happened to the missing girls and that, and then the teacher went missing as well. One of the teachers at this hanging rock, yeah. Well, he reckoned like it was to do with Martians and that, but you know, it's a very, very strange story. Yeah, the Picnic at Hanging Rocks, based on a novel. I think the novel's written in was it 1975? But yeah, it's not one of my favourites. That, yeah. So if you let me know if you've seen that one. Picnic at Hanging Rock. A lot of people do like that one. Dr. Impossible, Jenny just loves getting naked. Moving on. Oh, here, missus. Miserable old guess. Alan, Werewolf in London has a funny side. The rotating bodies in the movie was funny. Does anyone recall the song "The Werewolf of London"? No, but I do recall "Bad Moon Rising." Creedence Clearwater Revival. Yeah. Anybody heard that song? I used to be a werewolf, but I'm all right now. That was a good one. Sorry about that, guys. I couldn't resist it. Max and Ice. Landis and the stuff that went on in the Twilight Zone film. Very sad and tragic stuff. What's happened? Oh, don't know too much about that one. That story. Tony Crosby saying even John Landis made Michael Jackson look scary as a werewolf in the TV Thriller video. Oh yeah, one of the disc jockeys was only talking about that the other day when it was shown at was it Autumn 1983 when he showed it late night. I remember it quite vividly actually. Yeah, because the presenter came on and he said the following video is being shown like it's not suitable for children or people with a nervous disposition. Well, you know, Thriller, if you've seen the video, you know what happens to Jackson, don't you? You know, it was, I mean, when I watched it, it creeped me out, the way they done it and that, you know, it was like a horror movie. Then they all went into the dancing end, didn't they? All the disco dancing and that, yeah, the zombie like figures and that, but it was very, very well done, that Thriller. Yeah, quite creepy, yeah. Dr. Impossible, thinking of dear skinny Jenny Allen, did you see Jenny Agutter in I Start Counting? No. Haven't seen it. A rather fascinating thriller. When was that made, Doctor? Was that made in the 70s, or was it a more recent one? I haven't seen that one. Right, so just have another deco through my book, guys, and shout a few movies out and see if they ring a bell with you. Here's a Paul Naschy one I haven't seen. The Fury of the Wolfman. You see that? Fury of the Wolfman. There's a nice Blu-ray release of that movie. It's quite expensive. It's about 30 quid. Because I was going to pick it up, yeah, but when I seen how much it was. Whew. Bone Hill Road. I Want You. Good promo, that. Reminds me of that promo poster for World War One. Your country needs you. Yeah, I want you. Let's see if there's any more in here what might ring a bell. The Tomb of the Werewolf. Alright, Paul Naschy again, guys. The Tomb of the Werewolf. You see that? Yeah. So as I say, guys, if you've seen any of those movies, let me know. Chestnuts F7. C. Bill Cheecher, Arthur Fowler in EastEnders has died at 92. Rest in peace. Oh right, so I didn't say hear that. Matt tonight is saying Agatha in Logan's Run. Whoa, mama, she was something in that. Logan's Run. Never watched it, but I've heard of it. Matt tonight. Now she's still quite nice for her age. She's in Call the Midwife now. Alright, don't watch that. Yeah, I'm not into those type of TV shows. Lewis Clark, sorry Alan, I've got to go, but great talking to you. Take care and catch you another time, mate. Oh, thanks very much, Lewis. Yeah, thanks for turning up. Have a nice weekend, and all going well. I'll talk to you again in another future stream. Yeah, thanks, Lewis Clark. Bye, everyone. Pete's saying The Beast Must Die was pretty fun, and the cool premise felt like a mix between a film and an interactive game. Yeah, quite ahead of its time, and a great cast too. Yeah. Oh yeah, piece of cushion. Yeah, that's the one where you've got to guess who the werewolf is, isn't it? Yeah, it's a good one, that. Yeah, they have like a sort of like break, don't they? It's about 3/4 of the way through where you've got to try and sort of like guess who the werewolf is. Who the werewolf is. Yeah, I think that was made in I think it was 1974. That was made. Brian Gilson saying to Peace, I totally agree with you. Yep. Tony Crosby, I love The Beast Must Die, even if it's a funky soundtrack. Yeah. Calvin Lockhart, he's the big game hunter, isn't he? Calvin Lockhart. Richard Brown, Paul Nash is great. He did a great mummy film, very Hammer-esque. He is, yeah. He's very reminiscent of the Hammer actors, isn't he? Yeah. I got I must admit though, I got 2 of his box sets about 3 Christmases ago, and there was only 1 or 2 good films in them, so I got rid of them. There's about 6 movies in each set and that, and I was all excited, at Christmas Day and that, but when I watched them I thought, oh, these are his worst movies. It's like that Christopher Lee box set I bought. That was a disappointment as well. For one thing, he was hardly in most of the films. He was hardly in them. And then there was one where he'd done this TV show in the was it 1971, where he hosts this like horror, like a bit like Roald Dahl's Tales of the Unexpected. He bookends it. And he comes on and says about the story. Even that was rubbish, so I got rid of that. But this new Christopher Lee set that's out now, one movie's called is it called My Uncle Was a Vampire. That looks a bit more promising, so I might be tempted to check that out. I might treat myself for Christmas, but that first Christopher Lee was awful, really was. Chestnut Sub 7 is saying, I've got The Beast Must Die, but to be honest, I find it's a bit boring. It was a bit slow in parts, yeah. As it's a kind of like a puzzle movie, wasn't it? You had to guess who the werewolf was, yeah. Tony Crosby, I love Legend of the Werewolf with twisty, miserable Ron Moody. Yeah, he was great playing Fagin and Oliver. Yeah, Legend of the Werewolf. I've said this many times that it's about time that Arrow or Vinegar Syndrome gave that the Blu-ray release it thoroughly deserves. Waited for years for that to come out. Even the DVD's hard to get. So if anybody's watching from Arrow or any of the other boutique labels, get this out on Blu-ray. Yeah, it's a great movie. Yeah. David Rintoul plays the werewolf. Yeah, it's like a werewolf with white hair. It's a great one, that. Yeah. So you never know. Fingers crossed. Arrow or a similar label might release it at some point. Man Cave Movies is saying my favourite has to be Dog Soldiers, or a lot of love for Dog Soldiers tonight. Pete's saying Wolfman is pretty underrated with Albert Finney. Do you know what, Pete? I haven't seen that one. Isn't that on the HMV Premium label? I'll have to get round to watching that, Wolfman. Yeah, that's one I haven't seen. Tony Crosby is saying, I watched The Howling Reborn and I thought it was trash. I think I saw that a couple of years ago. Yeah, it's instantly forgettable if it's the same one. This is it. You see a lot of these werewolf movies and that they start jumping on the bandwagon, don't they? And the result is usually very, very poor. Richard Brown, Wolfman is a very underrated film. Yeah, great scenes of urban decay. Yeah, as I say, I'll have to check that one out. That Wolfman. Yeah. Right, Matt tonight is saying solid little trilogy is Ginger Snaps. I saw Ginger Snaps. It must have been about 4 or 5 years ago on Netflix. Yeah, I liked the beginning, but as the movie went on, I got a little bit bored. To be honest with you, yeah. So it wasn't one I wanted to add to my collection. Yeah, they did a follow up, didn't they, as well? Is it Ginger Snaps 2 or Ginger Snaps again? Yeah, but yeah, I got a little bit bored with it, as it went on. Brian Gilson. Have you seen Wild Country? It's a werewolf film set in Scotland. No. Starring Peter Capaldi. I haven't seen that one, Brian. No, I have to check that out. Dr. Impossible. Albert Finney's American accent is enough to scare any beast. He played Scrooge well, didn't he, Albert Finney? He's in Saturday Night and wasn't he in Saturday Night and Sunday Morning, Albert Finney? That was a good one. That's a good. If you like your kitchen sink dramas, guys, yeah, check out Saturday Night and Sunday Morning. It's a great one. That. Chestnut 7. Yes, Walkabout is in Australia. Yeah, I thought it was the same one. Yeah, Jenny Agassi. Mac Tonight. If you like, you could also count the Underworld franchise. I've never seen any of them. The Underworld movies, pretty bland series, but worth it for Kate Beckinsale in a very nice leather. Yeah, Shades of Diana Rigg and the Avengers. Yeah, I've never seen any of those Underworld movies. I'll have to check one out sometime. Richard Brown saying Picnic at Hanging Rock is like a folk horror. Yeah. A folk cosmic horror hybrid. I love this. Yeah, it's got a lot of it. Yeah, a lot of people do like that. Picnic at Hanging Rock. Weird the way the girls disappeared, wasn't it? Disappeared into thin air. Mac Tonight. To be fair, we love Jenny getting naked, so no complaints here. Oh, missus. Moving on. Dr. Impossible. I've tried 3 times to watch Dog Soldiers and I just can't get into that film. Same here. I can't really. Yeah, it's not one of my favourites. I would say I do know a lot of people do like it, you know, but I just it's just not one of my favourite movies. I don't know if it was the sort of like tying in the military, the soldier aspect with the werewolf legend. I just don't know what it was. It's just not one of my favourite werewolf movies, unfortunately. Tony Crosby. Werewolf of London, great song. Pete saying Warren Zevon, Werewolves in London is a fun song, right? Richard Brown, have you read any werewolf novels by Guy Smith? They are fun. Yeah, I've got one on my bookshelf. Yeah, The Return of the Werewolf, and I've got the other one, the first one, Werewolf by Night, on my Kindle. Yeah. Oh yeah, I like Guy Smith. Yeah. So yeah, I'm looking forward to revisiting them at some point. Yeah, he was great, Guy Smith. He was a very prolific author, wasn't he? I like this Night of the Crabs series. They were pretty good. I thought they were the nearest to James Herbert's Rats. You know, Rats trilogy. Oh yeah, he's very prolific, Guy Smith. Death Bell, that was another good one he wrote. Death Bell. And then he wrote one about an airplane as well, didn't he? Doomflight. Oh, he wrote loads, didn't he? The one about the swamp creature as well. I didn't read them all, but I read a fair few. Pulp horror fiction. Matt Tonight is saying, in the Twilight Zone film, 3 actors died by a horrific accident, all got decapitated. Oh my word. 2 of them were children. Such a sad story behind that film. Oh, that's awful, that. Awful. I hate to hear anything like that. They say a lot of, some of these movies are cursed, don't they? Dr. Impossible, Picnic at Hanging Rock is great. Rachel Roberts, I love that actress, yeah. Rachel Roberts. She seduced Malcolm McDowell in Oh Lucky Man. I haven't seen that one, Doctor. Oh Lucky Man. Yeah, I like Malcolm McDowell. He's a good actor. Yeah, but I haven't seen that one. Right, Richard Brown is saying, what about I Was a Teenage Werewolf? Or saw that years ago. Yeah, 1950s, wasn't it? I don't remember too much about it, but yeah, I think I did enjoy it. Yeah, and I Was a Teenage Frankenstein as well. They brought the 2 out, didn't they? I Was a Teenage Werewolf and I Was a Teenage Frankenstein. Yeah. Edward's here. Evening, Alan. You okay, Edward, mate? Thanks for stopping by. Hope you're well. I'm not too bad, thanks. Hope you are too. I'm trying to get into Vincent Price movies. What is the best box set to get? Well, I believe Arrow, a couple of years ago, Arrow did a box set, didn't he, with The Pit and the Pendulum in, if you can get it in that, and it was at the Tomb of Elijah. Some Roger Corman movies were in the box set of Vincent Price, and then it's a Scream Factory. I think they've released about 3 Vincent Price collections. I think they're very, very rare now. They're very hard to get. So I haven't got them myself, but I've seen some people on YouTube, you know, reviewing them and that. So they're the ones that spring to mind. The Arrow one, you know, the Tomb of Ligeia and that, and then the Scream Factory ones, yeah. So either of them, I suppose, yeah. But I've got a lot of Vincent Price, well, all Vincent Price movies, all separately, yeah. So yeah, check them out, you know, if you're lucky enough to be able to find them. Tony Crosby, can you remember Eddie's doll in The Munsters was Lon Chaney's Wolfman? No. Matt Tonight is saying there's that new Marvel mini film called Werewolf by Night. Oh yeah, I've heard of that. I haven't seen it. That's supposed to be good. I did get the Werewolf by Night Marvel comics in the 70s. They were quite good, along with the Dracula Lives comics as well. Yeah, but yeah, I'll have to get round to watching that Werewolf by Night. Mac Tonight, forgot to say, man, what's your name? My wife says hello. Alan Scouser. That's my YouTube name. Best wishes to your wife. Dr. Impossible, I Start Counting was made in the late 1960s. Agatha starred with Brian Marshall, a familiar British actor who was in Brian Clemence's thriller Alan. The film was directed by David Green Rice. Yeah. Matt Tonight, Werewolves of the Third Reich is one of the most ludicrous films I've ever seen. I think that's in this book, Werewolves of the Third Reich. I'm sure it's in here. Yeah, Werewolves of the I've ever seen Werewolf Nazis. Yeah, they'd make anything these days. They would. Yeah, definitely. I've seen some pretty bad. I tell you what, guys, I've seen some pretty bad werewolf movies in my time where you can actually think you can actually see they just stuck a bloody makeshift werewolf mask over their head. They can't be bothered with all these fancy effects and that. They just got a werewolf mask from the nearest Halloween shop, and that'll do. Just pulled it over their head, yeah. Or you can see right through some of these werewolves and that. Even sometimes you can see the bloody zipper at the back of the suit and that, you know, yeah. Oh God, that had to get away with it. Miserable old Gis, The Beast Must Die. Beast Must Die, Stop the Clock, also done in the movie. Then They Went On, right? Pete's saying, very underrated film is Werewolves Within. It's based on a video game, but it's a brilliant whodunit. Sort of a modern Beast Must Die. Definitely worth searching out, Alan. Oh, that's to watch out for that one piece, yeah. Werewolves Within. Yeah, oh, cheers, mate, yeah. I'll have to check that one out. Dr. Impossible is saying, Doctor Who did a fairly decent story with David Tennant, right? Tooth and Claw. I think Davis wrote the story, right? I'm not really a Doctor Who fan, so can't really comment on that. I watched them like when I was a kid. I liked John Pertwee, and I liked the other fella. What's his name with the curly hair? Tom Baker. Patrick Troughton was alright, but as I got older, I just grew out of it, yeah, so don't really know too much about the modern Doctor Who's. Richard Brown, Vic Morrow, he was in Combat, wasn't he, Vic Morrow? That war series. Vic Morrow was one of the people decapitated on the Twilight Zone set. It was horrible, that. Yeah, as I say, I hate to read anything like that. Oh, yeah, it's horrible. Very sad, like. Max Tonight, Werewolves and Strippers is an interesting British werewolf film. I think I've seen that one on the Horror Channel, Werewolves and Strippers. It rings a bell. Starring Adele Silva, also known as Kelly Windsor, in Emmerdale, also Martin Kemp as well. Oh, is he in it, is he? Yeah. I've got a vague memory of seeing that on the Horror Channel. I don't know what they were thinking of the Horror Channel changing the name, you know. Bloody ridiculous. Dr. Impossible is saying, people always forget Vincent Price, John Landis and Michael Jackson, yeah? I love Vincent Price's voice at the end of that Thriller song, yeah? Yeah, when he said darkness falls across the land, oh yeah, fantastic, yeah. He was a great actor, Vincent Price. Very synonymous with horror. Yeah, one of the best in my opinion. Tell you a good Vincent Price movie, guys, I'd recommend The Last Man on Earth. It's based on the novel Richard Matheson, I Am Legend. Yeah, check that one out. That's a good one. And Theatre of Blood. That's a good one as well. There's loads of Vincent Price movies I could recommend. Brian Gilson, Late Phases is a good werewolf film. Is that the one that's set in the old folks' home, Brian? Yeah, about a blind army veteran in the home. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. I saw that a couple of years ago on the horror channel. I don't remember too much about it, but yeah. Pete's saying definitely Dr. Impossible. Tooth and Claw is a brilliant Who episode, right? Spence 1000. Greetings from Florida, USA. Oh, greetings from Merseyside. Hope you're keeping well. Max tonight. Bubba the Redneck Werewolf was a hilariously bad werewolf comedy. I think that's in the book. In this book, The Fright Fest Guide. Yeah, I'm sure. Well, I think virtually every blooming werewolf movie's in here, guys. The Fright Fest Guide. Okay, then, guys. Well, while we're on the subjects of books, I'm not going to go on too much about this. I'd just like to show you I've actually written a werewolf book myself. It's like a little nod to both the Lon Chaney movies and the Amicus Portmanteau movies. And my book is called Werewolf Nightmare by Alan Toner. I'll just reach the back, guys, just to give an idea of it. Werewolf Nightmare is a horror portmanteau novella in the style of Tales from the Crypt. A horror magazine editor visits the secluded country home of an elderly writer to read 4 werewolf stories he's written with a view to publication in the magazine. But as the night unfolds, it soon becomes horrifyingly apparent that perhaps there is more truth than fiction in the old man's lycanthropic tales. Yeah, so as I say, I wanted to do a little nod to the Lon Chaney Jr. movies and the Amicus Portmanteau movies, so I thought I'd do a little werewolf book, you know. So this is available in Kindle as well, yeah. So I designed the cover myself on that. So just this is the interior, guys, yeah. Werewolf Night. I'm very proud of this book, actually. Yeah, so there you go. You've got your contents there. Prologue, story 1, 2, 3, 4, and the epilogue. You can see, guys. Yeah, so yeah, I'm very proud of this book and that. Yeah, so there you go. That's my little contribution to the werewolf genre. Werewolf Nightmare. I'll leave the link down below anyway, guys, if you'd like to check it out. I'll leave the link straight to Amazon. Yeah, so yeah, I'm very proud of that book. Yeah. Okay, then moving on. Right. Richard Brown is saying, in the Beast Within film, the hero turns into a weird insect thing, but the book is actually about a werewolf, right? Mac tonight, check out The Beast and the Magic Sword, a brilliant Japanese werewolf film. I haven't seen that one. No, I haven't seen that one. I'll have to check that one out. Tony Crosby is saying, one of my favourite bands, Hawkwind, did a great song about werewolves called Steppenwolf. I haven't heard that one, so no, I am familiar with the band like Hawkwind, but I haven't heard that song, Steppenwolf. Mac tonight, check out 2020 Teddy. It's a French film. That's a darn good werewolf film. Oh, I haven't seen that one either. I'll have to check that one out. Yeah, keep them coming, guys. Yeah, these rare werewolf movies. You know, yeah, I'd love to check them out. They sound good. Dr. Impossible saying another trashy werewolf film for me was The Werewolf of Washington. That's just come out on Blu-ray. That I don't know if it's Synapsis brought it out. Yeah, with Dean Stockwell. Once bitten, never always forgotten. I saw that on the telly a few years ago. Don't remember too much about it, but I do know they just brought the Blu-ray out of that. The Werewolf of Washington. Richard Brown. Hawkwind also did a song about Damnation Alley. Great book, rubbish film, right? Tony's saying to Richard Brown, one of my favourite Hawkwind songs, that, right? Dr. Impossible, don't know where the never came from. My smartphone's possessed. I think that everything's possessed now, and some of these horror films, nearly everything's possessed, isn't it? Possessed phones, possessed people, possessed vehicles. Oh God, I think they've run the whole gamut of possession movies. Richard Brown, love Hawkwind, yeah. Brian Gilson, Attack of the Werewolves is a good Spanish horror comedy. I think I've seen that one. I don't remember too much about it, Bri. Yeah, I'm sure I've seen that one. Tony Crosby to Richard Brown, ditto. Yeah. Right. Yeah, so as I say, guys, if you see, any favourite werewolf movie, please voice it. I'd be very interested, to hear your selections and that. Yeah, I love a good werewolf movie. Richard Brown, have you seen Ghost in the Machine? I haven't seen that one, Richard. No, I haven't seen that one. Let's have a little deco through this, guys, and see if there's any more movies here I can shout out. There's one there with the lad, the guy that used to be in Little House on the Prairie, and Bonanza, Michael Landon, Desperado something. Yeah, there it is. I haven't seen that one. Good actor, Michael Landon. Remember those two guys, Rowan and Martin's laughing. Here's their little tribute to the werewolf genre, the Maltese Bippy. Rowan and Martin's laughing. I used to watch them in the late 60s, and I used to get the magazine as well, the Laugh-In. Anybody old enough in here to remember that? The Laugh-In. I think Ruth Buzzy was one of the regulars on that. Yeah. There's a good photo there, guys, of Paul Naschy as the werewolf Dominski. The Beast of the Yellow Night. I haven't seen that one, guys. Beast of the Yellow Night. Werewolves on Wheels. I think that's been on the Horror Channel. That one, Werewolves on Wheels. Oh, there's the Werewolf of Washington. Yeah. Not one of the best werewolf movies, unfortunately. Right, back to the comments then. Yeah, it's a great book, that. Tony Crosby is saying Frankenstein meets the Wolfman is a classic. I'd certainly second that. So it's a fantastic movie, that. I love everything in that movie, from the part where Talbot's resurrected, where the grave robbers break into his crypt, the part where he's in the hospital and he can't remember anything in that, and then he goes to see Maliva, the gypsy, doesn't he, and he stumbles on Frankenstein's monster in the ice and that, and of course the fight scene at the end. Oh, that's a great one. It's a horror classic, that. Frankenstein meets the Wolfman. I think that's more of a Wolfman movie, isn't it? Because it centres more on Larry, doesn't it? Lawrence Talbot's Wolfman. That's more of a Wolfman movie. But Bela Lugosi, because he plays the Frankenstein monster, doesn't he? Yeah, I liked Ilona Massey in that as well, as it was Frankenstein's daughter or granddaughter. Yeah, she's good. Ilona Massey, a blonde lady. Dr. Impossible. There's one series I remember from my youth, growing up in the 1980s, called Werewolf, made in the US, and it scared the bleep out of me. Actor John York plays the lead, and this great series only. I don't think I've seen that one. Richard Brown, Goldie Hawn, as in Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In. Yeah. Matt tonight. One of the things I like about the werewolves is the loneliness of the creature, especially compared to the sensual and sexualization of vampires. Yeah, there's something very tragic, isn't it, about it, somebody afflicted with lycanthropy. Very tragic. They don't want to kill. They change into this horrible, bloodthirsty monster with the full moon. And very, very sad character. A werewolf, a victim of the curse of the werewolf. As I say, Lon Chaney Jr, he really portrayed the character to a T. He was the best werewolf ever, in my opinion. And even in the movie Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein, where he was believed to have said he didn't want to do it because he thought it made a mockery of the monsters. He was even good in that, when he gets on the phone to Lou Costello and warns them that the bodies of Dracula and the Frankenstein monster in horror museum. Yeah, and as he's on the phone, he changes, doesn't he? Well, if you've seen the movie, you'll know what I mean. He changes and that when he's on the phone and that, and he starts making the werewolf noises. And Lou Costello says something along the lines of, "If you're gonna start making stupid hound dog noises, I'm gonna hang up on you." You know, oh, that's a great one. That Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein. But oh yeah, Lon Chaney Jr. He called the Wolfman my baby. Did you know that, guys? Yeah, he often referred to the Wolfman as my baby. Yeah, well, that really made him a star, didn't it? The Wolfman, you know, Lon Chaney Jr. You know, and all the things he went through trying to get cured. You know, he went all over Europe and that. You know, he had fights he met all sorts of characters and that, gypsy women, gypsy girls, mad doctors, of course, the Frankenstein monster, and it's a great, what's the name, that Lon Chaney Jr. franchise, the Wolfman. Yeah, fantastic, love it. Right, Dr. Impossible is saying, one season in the US, Alan, Werewolf is worth a watch. It's great fun. Right, yeah, I'll have to check that out, Doctor. Rock and Roll Hell is saying, Where is a good one. Yeah, I've seen that a couple of years ago. I enjoyed it. I don't remember too much about it, but I do recall enjoying it immensely. A different kind of werewolf movie. I think it's set in France, yeah. Must have come out in around 2014, yeah. Well, that, you know, we talked before, guys, about, you know, Oliver Reed, the Curse of the Werewolf, the Hammer movie. That was based on the novel, The Werewolf of Paris. I think it was a Guy Endor that wrote it. I think it came out round about in the 1920s and 30s, yeah. I believe the story is very, very different to the Oliver Reed movie. Well, of course, you find that a lot, don't you? When they make these movies, they tinker, they tweak the storyline, don't they? Yeah, based on the novel, The Werewolf of Paris. I've never read it, actually. I'll have to get round to reading that. It's a great movie, that Curse of the Werewolf. Especially the part where he's in the cell. Brian's saying, love Abbott and Costello, me Frankenstein. Yeah. One of my all-time favourite horror movies, and my all-time favourite horror comedy, alongside American Werewolf in London. Yeah, fantastic. Watch those two movies anytime, guys. Richard's saying, in The White Reindeer, the main actress is like a werewolf, but she turns into a reindeer, right? After being cursed by a witch. Oh, right. Chestnut 77 is saying, I, Monster was a good film with Christopher Lee. Yeah, it's great that he plays like a Jekyll and Hyde character, doesn't he? Oh, they change the names, don't they, to Marlowe and Blake? Yeah, I love that one, I, Monster. Yeah, and Peter Cushing's in it as well, isn't he? Yeah, it's great that I've got the Blu-ray of that in my collection, I, Monster. Great little movie, that. Another good Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde movie, guys, I can recommend. It's the one with Anthony Perkins in. That's a good one, yeah. I've got the Arrow one of that as well. That's a good one, that, yeah. He was great in that, Anthony Perkins. Max tonight. Werewolves of Parliament is a silly straight-to-DVD film. Guess that explains Boris Johnson. Boris Johnson's interesting hairstyle. Tony Crosby saying, I'll still say Oliver Reed's Werewolf is scary looking. It is, yeah. And the part where when the film opens and you had this close up, don't you, of his eyes darting, you know, from side to side. Oh yeah, that creeped me out. That when I saw that as a kid, oh yeah, really scary. That he was great, Oliver Reed, fantastic actor. Yeah. Right. Dr. Impossible is saying, Alan, did you ever see Mario Bava's highly atmospheric space vampire science fiction film / horror called The Planet of the Vampires? It's brilliant. I've seen some trailers of that. Yeah, I'll have to get round to watching that. Yeah, it looks good. Yeah, lovely colour. The Blu-ray. Yeah, Planet of the Vampires. Yeah, I've seen quite a few trailers of that. Yeah, I'll have to check that out, Doctor. Yeah, I believe it's a good film, that. Richard Brown, Alien ripped off bits from Planet of the Vampires. I've heard that said before. Yeah. Yeah. I love Alien. I love my number one is the first one from 1979. I can't watch that chest burster scene still to this day without wincing, you know, or the way they done it. And I can imagine when that was first shown in the cinemas in 1979. That was shocking. It must have been, you know, to the audience, and I seen it on the big screen and that, and it coming out of his chest. Oh my days! God, talk about shock horror. Dr. Impossible, it did, Richard, right? Oh yeah, I love Alien. Yeah, I think the second one was okay. Aliens, that was more of an adventure movie, wasn't it? You know, but I think that the first one is definitely the best one. I call that. Well, other people call it like the haunted house movie in space, and I think that's a very apposite description. A fantastic movie. Ridley Scott, he really did a fantastic job putting that movie together, you know, and a great stellar cast as well, you know, Sigourney Weaver, you know, Ian Holm, John Hurt. Oh yeah, it's a classic Alien. I've got the 4K of that. Yeah, I love Alien. Right, guys, I'll have another little look at my book and shout out a couple of werewolf movies which you might have seen. As the case may be. That's we were talking before about Ginger Snaps sequel. That's it. Ginger Snaps Back. That's the one. Yeah, Ginger Snaps Back. I haven't seen it. Ginger Snaps 2 Unleashed. There's another one. Ginger Snaps 2 Unleashed. There you go. Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. Werewolf looking creature there. I must admit, I'm not a great fan of the Harry Potter movies. Yeah, I tried to get into them, but yeah, just if I was a kid, like it did come out when I was a kid, I most probably would have loved them. You know, like I loved the Narnia books and that, but yeah, I can't get into them. Harry Potter. There's the great Lon Chaney Jr. guys, a scene from the House of Frankenstein. That's the one where he falls in love with the little gypsy girl and J. Carroll Knight. He's got a love rival with J. Carroll Natius, the hunchback, and that. Well, of course, the girl rejects J. Carroll Knight because he's deformed. He's got a hump on his back. So you've got friction there between Talbot and you know, the hunchback. Yeah, that's a great one. That the House of Frankenstein. Right, some comments. Keep them coming, guys. Love your comments. Mac tonight, good Oliver Reed was a legend. The man could simply empty a pub dry in a couple of hours, sadly missed. Yeah, he was fantastic, Oliver Reed, yeah. Great actor. Loved him as Bill Sykes in Oliver Twist. I think that was one of his most iconic roles, that was. Brian Gilson, which werewolf film would you say is the scariest? Now, which is the scariest werewolf film? Well, let's have a think now. I think I would... In regards to scariest scenes, as I said before, the part of American Werewolf where his mate got torn to bits, you know, in the Welsh wilderness, that's really, oh God, the way they done that, it was realistic and that, and he was screaming and that, you know, and you see all the blood and that, oh, that was really scary. And the part, the case of the werewolf where Oliver Reed, he changed and that, you know, and he's in the cell with the prisoner, the old guy, and we turned around and that in his face, oh, that was pretty scary. Lon Chaney Jr. when I first saw him, I thought it didn't really give me nightmares, but I loved him. I really loved him, but he didn't really have me looking over the bedclothes to see if the Wolfman was at the foot of me bed. You know, I mean, I liked him as sort of like an iconic character, if you like. It didn't disturb me, but I thought he was very, very good. Playing Larry Talbot like a very tortured soul, as was the case with Boris Karloff's Frankenstein. Didn't really frighten me, didn't really terrify me, but I loved them for what they were, you know, fun horror movies, you know, and a lot of people have described the Universal movies as fun horror movies, and I think that's a very apposite description. You know, a fun horror movie, you know, you can derive maximum enjoyment from them without being too terrified to go to bed at night. Yeah, so yeah, I'd say, as I say, those incidents I've said, you know, the part in the Welsh wilderness where his mate got torn to ribbons, and Oliver Reed, you know, in the cell, and of course when I first saw Lon Chaney Jr. changing, it was pretty creepy. Yeah, the way he done his legs change, all the hairs come up his legs and that. And of course the Michael Jackson, when I first saw the Michael Jackson Werewolf, the Thriller, that was pretty creepy. Tony Crosby, just a thought, Alan. When a werewolf needs the toilet, does it stand or cock its leg? Well, I should imagine in American Werewolf in London, I should imagine that werewolf would cock its leg like a dog. I don't know about Lon Chaney's werewolf, whether he pull it, well, you know, with him being like, he was on two legs, wasn't he, like a man? So I suppose he'd do the normal, what humans would do. But yeah, I always found that, I don't know about you guys, but you know the Lon Chaney Wolfman? I always found it a bit strange that when he got bit in the first Wolfman movie by Baylor was like a wolf on all fours, wasn't it? Like the werewolf in American Werewolf in London. Why then didn't Lon Chaney become a wolf on all fours? I always found that a bit odd. He just changed into a wolfman, didn't he? Like a human. He didn't go on all fours. But yeah, what do you think about that, guys? Do you agree with me? You thought that was a bit odd the way Universal did that. They didn't make him like. Well, I think in the long run, they made a wise decision, because the iconic images of the Wolfman, you know, in the forest and that, you know, standing behind a tree and that, and you know, baring his teeth and that, and the hair and that, it's a very, very iconic image that sort of like it lasted it's lasted right down the decades, hasn't it? That image of Lon Chaney Jr, you know, in the forest and that, peering through the bushes and that, you know. But I think they made the right decision, making him like, you know, a Wolfman on two legs rather than the. They've got a name for that, haven't they? An animal on four legs. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but they've got a name for it. It's a biped, something like that. But yeah, I always found that strange. Why Lon Chaney didn't turn into a complete wolf? He became a wolfman, but not complaining. As I say, in the end, it's you know, it was a very good decision by Universal, because they created quite an iconic horror character there. Right, Paul Conway is saying, "Hi there, Alan. You okay, Paul? Have you seen the Italian one, Werewolf Woman? It's a mixture of werewolf meets I Spit on Your Grave." I don't think I have, Paul. No, I've heard of it, but I don't think I've seen it. I have to check that one out. Richard Brown saying, "Unfortunately, Ridley Scott screwed up alien lore in his ill-conceived sequels." Yeah, I wasn't too keen on the sequels, although I did like Aliens to a degree. But the number one Alien for me is the first one, you know, the 1979 classic. After that, not really a great fan. And I hated that one. He bloody Ripley shaving out like a bloody skinhead. I hated that one. God's truth. Right, Paul Conway is saying, "The Wolfman is my favourite, with Lon Chaney and Evelyn Ankers." Evelyn Ankers, she was nice, wasn't she? Yeah. Gwen Conliffe. Yeah, when Talbot first returns home, he sees her, doesn't he? He's got the telescope, and he sees her in the shop opposite, doesn't he? And he's manoeuvring the telescope like that to get a good look at her, and he falls in love with her, doesn't he? Yeah, I thought that was great. That was a great little love story with, you know, sort of like mixed in with the Wolfman. Larry after Gwen. Well, of course, when he became the Wolfman, he became scared, didn't he? You know, going near in case he killed her. You know, but oh yeah, Evelyn Ankers. Oh, she was lovely. Yeah, she's been in quite a few. Universal horror movies. Is Evelyn Ankers? Yeah, she was in The Ghost of Frankenstein as well. And that was the one where Lon Chaney Jr. played the Frankenstein monster. The Ghost of Frankenstein, yeah, the one after Son of Frankenstein. But yeah, I love it. I love Evelyn Ankers. Never ever reappeared as Gwen, did she, in the subsequent subsequent Chaney Werewolf movies? Or did I say the Gypsy Woman was in Frankenstein meets the Wolfman, wasn't she? Right, Mac tonight. Werewolf hamsters and werewolf guinea pigs are two interesting titles I saw in a charity shop once. Right. Dr. Impossible is saying Scott and Fox are both to blame for the complete mess of the Alien franchise. Alien never needed the prequel backstory. Yeah, I must admit, I'm not a fan. I'm not a great fan of backstories and prequels. You know, it's like this Orphan movie. They done prequels to that. I would have much rather they carried the character on to the next movie. They've gone back and told the story when she first started out. Yeah, they believe that's coming out on. Is that coming out this Monday? I'm sure it's coming out this Monday on Blu-ray. I must probably get that because I like the first one. But yeah, I'm not a great fan of prequels and backstories and flashbacks. I hate them. Graham Powell, Dog Soldiers was scary. Yeah, as I say, a lot of love tonight for Dog Soldiers. Yeah, very, very popular movie. Richard Brown, have you seen Island of Lost Souls with Bela Lugosi as a werewolf type monster? No, I haven't seen that one. Is that the one with Richard? Is that the one with Charles Lawton in from the 30s? Yeah, I haven't seen that one. I'll have to check that out. Criterion's haven't Criterion done an edition of that? Yeah, I'll have to check that one out. I tell you what, a good classic monster movie I've got, guys. I've only seen clips of it. The Hunchback of Notre Dame, starring Lon Chaney. You know, Lon Chaney Jr., like his dad. You know, the great Lon Chaney. Yeah, he plays Quasimodo. Yeah, so I've got that to watch. A lovely edition. You know, yeah, and I love the booklets as well, with all sorts of like interesting snippets about the movie and that. Yeah, so I might do a review of that when I've watched it. Yeah, I think Eureka. Is it Eureka Masters of Cinema? I think the label is. Yeah, the original Hunchback of Notre Dame. Yeah, lovely edition, lovely slipcover. Yeah, so as I say, I might do a review of that once I've watched it. Fazbear Brothers is saying the scariest werewolf film for me is Dogs. Another one for Dog Soldiers, eh? My gosh, as I say, getting a lot of love tonight, innit? Mac tonight, Duran, Hungry Like the Wolf. I remember Hungry Like the Wolf very, very well. Yeah, big 80s song, wasn't it? Yeah. Remember Notorious? Yeah, yeah. They were quite good, Duran. Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan, but I like some of the songs. Yeah, View to a Kill, the James Bond theme, that was good. Yeah, I loved that one. Tony Crosby, I think the Lon Chaney image you're talking about is the film poster image, right? Geek Legion of Dooms here. You okay, Leo Mace? Yeah, thanks for dropping by. I prefer bipedal werewolves with a shout too. I've only just joined stream. Have you mentioned Bad Moon? I love that movie. I haven't seen that one, Leo, Bad Moon. I've heard a lot of good things about it. Yeah, I'll have to check that one out, yeah. I believe the werewolves is fantastic in that. Yeah, I'll have to check that one out, as I say. Mac Tonight, Van Helsing 2004, again with the lovely Kate Beckinsale, mixed film, but also does contain the Wolfman, right? Yeah, I'm not a great fan of that Van Helsing. I thought it was corny, you know, and the story was all over the place, yeah, and I think it relied too much on CGI for my liking. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that. The only Van Helsing I like is the Peter Cushing variety, you know, that he played him in Dracula, Brides of Dracula, and the two modern day Dracula movies. And of course he cropped up again, didn't he, in The Legend of the Seven Golden Vampires from 1974, which I believe was Hammer's last foray into vampiredom. Yeah, I'm not a great fan of that one, The Legend of the Seven Golden Vampires. I don't like the kung fu aspect to it. I think they could have left that out. Yeah, they were going to do I don't know if you know, guys, they were going to do one more Dracula film with Christopher Lee, and it was going to be set in India, but it fell through, and I believe the script exists somewhere. You know what, they were going to make it into an actual movie with Christopher Lee, but it fell through. Yeah, imagine that, Dracula in India. It's the same with the Wolf. They were going to do after I think it was after Frankenstein Mr. Wolfman, they were going to do a Wolfman meets Dracula movie, you know, with Lon Chaney's Talbot goes head to head with Lugosi's Dracula, but that fell through. Yeah, I don't know the full story why it never came to fruition, but yeah, they had the script and everything and that. Yeah, the Wolfman versus Dracula. Yeah, that would have been interesting, wouldn't it? Yeah. Although he did have a fight with Dracula, didn't he, in Abbott and Costello, like a kind of a semi-fight in Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein, where Lugosi's Dracula, he turns into a bat at the end, and as he's flying, the Wolfman comes barging towards the balcony, grabs the bat, doesn't he? And as he grabs the bat, he falls down, doesn't he, into the the waves down below the sea. Yeah, just imagine though, they'd have done that. The Wolfman versus Dracula. Richard Brown, have you seen The Beast? A surreal erotic Euro horror film. It's pretty good. I think I've seen that one. Yeah, was that on the Arrow label? Oh no, I'm thinking of The Beast Within, aren't I? Yeah. I don't think I've seen that one, but I have seen The Beast Within. That's a kind of a different werewolf movie, that one, The Beast Within. Dr. Impossible is saying, Legend of the Werewolf will probably never get a release, due in part to Freddie Francis's son who owns the rights to all the Tyburn films, right? But you never know. We'll keep hoping. We'll keep our fingers crossed that it does. It certainly merits one, as does the other one, the Skull, not the Skull, the Ghoul with Peter Cushing that was made in 1975. Yeah, I think that was that a Tyburn film, or was, I'm not too sure if that was a Tyburn film as well. The Ghoul, where he has his son in the attic and that, and he's like a kind of a monster. Yeah, I hope they do a Blu-ray release of that, at some points. Right, Tony Crosby saying the Wolfman's great in the Monster Squad. Do you know what? I want to get the Monster Squad for my Blu-ray collection. Yeah, I'll have to send off to America for that, because I haven't seen a Blu-ray of that anywhere in a HMV over here at any of the UK stockists. So I'll have to get, but I want the best possible one with all the features on and all the best picture quality. So yeah, I will get that one, the Monster Squad. I saw it years ago, but forget it. But from what I can remember, all the monsters were top class. The way the makeup and that. Yeah, so that's one's definitely on my shopping list. Right, Fazbear Brothers. The only good Alien sequel is Aliens. Didn't like Alien 3. No. Right, Tony Crosby saying prequels take the mystery out of the main movies. Yeah, I totally agree. They're trying to do that with Michael Myers, aren't they? They're trying to do like a backstory of him, aren't they? Yeah, I don't agree with all that. I like that sort of like I like that layer of mystique, if you like, with a horror character. You don't know too much about them, so you're sort of like forming your own idea of their background and that. But when they start revealing everything and that, they've done it with Kruger. His mother, Amanda Kruger. They started divulging all his backstory and that. They should have just left him the way he was. Like left him like he had that sort of like mysterious aspect to him. Once you start giving away all about a character now, I think it's sort of like detracts from the from the image. Well, that's just my opinion anyway. Max tonight, have you sat down and watched the new Terrifier film? Oh god, don't mention Terrifier to me. I've had terrible trouble. I ordered that from Amazon. It must be 3 weeks now. I've ordered the 2 movies and it still haven't got it in. And from what I've been watching other YouTubers videos, and they've managed to get it from HMV. Our local HMV hasn't got it in. So they're lucky, but Amazon, I'm starting to lose my patience with them, and I'm a huge fan of Amazon, but they're keeping me waiting for this Terrifier, double movie Blu-ray, and in the end, I think I'll have to shop elsewhere, because it does, at the moment, there's no signs of Amazon getting it in. Have you guys ordered it from Amazon? Are you having the same problem? Let me know. It's very annoying. I pre-ordered it and everything, but I believe there was that much demand for it that it came out like on the Monday, and within a couple of hours, all copies had been sold. But yeah, it's a bit of a pain. Yeah. I did a double bill with the wife, and this gory treat is such entertaining watch. Got my wife all excited, and me, to be fair, yeah. Oh yeah, I like the first Terrifier, Art the Clown, yeah, so I'm looking forward to watching this this sequel. Right, so I'm going to be on for another half hour, guys. I'll finish it at 10 o'clock. So I'll try and get through as many questions as I can. So as I say, doesn't have to be just werewolf movies. It could be anything, related to horror. So yeah, get your questions in. I'll answer as many as I can. So in regard to if any of you guys collect 4Ks, have you got like a particularly favourite werewolf movie on 4K? What you watch again and again. Let me know. Yeah, be very interested. Yeah, I've got the Howling on 4K. Lovely transfer. Yeah. So they done a real good job with that. They really did. Yeah. Sam Ka. 4K Dog Soldiers special edition from Second Sight is spot on. Love it. Yeah. My God, Dog Soldiers are getting a lot of love tonight, isn't it? Miserable Old Git is saying, great chat, look forward to the next one. Have a great weekend, guys. Steve. Oh, thanks very much, Steve. Yeah, have a nice weekend yourself. Thanks for stopping by, and all going well. I'll talk to you again in the next chat. Paul Conway to Dr. Impossible. No chance of the Ghoul then either. There's not even a DVD. I know it's a bummer, isn't it? It really is. Pete's saying, if they remade or did a new Wolfman film, who would be a great lead? Oh, that's a difficult one, Pete. Yeah, you know, as I say, there's only one Wolfman for me, and that's the late great Lon Chaney Jr. So whoever they did pick, they'd have to come up to him. You know, they'd have to sort of like emulate him. Otherwise, you know, I wouldn't be very impressed. You know, whenever you think of Wolfman, werewolf movies, your favourite Wolfman, it's always Lon Chaney Jr. with me, closely followed by Oliver Reed. You know, The Curse of the Werewolf. So if he did remake it, I'd be hard pressed, you know, to nominate it, you know, particularly favourite actor that sprang to mind. Yeah. So Lon Chaney Jr. He's my all-time favourite, always will be. Matt tonight is saying Dracula in India. Now that sounds fun. Lee messing about near the Taj Mahal. Yeah, it never ever came to fruition, did it? Would have been interesting to see what he would have done with the character, you know, in India. Tony Crosby, I think they did the Dracula in India as a play on Radio 4. Oh, right. Yeah, interesting. Matt tonight, does your partner like any horror films, Alan? Well, I'm between partners at the moment, yeah. So young, free and single, yeah. So most of me family like horror movies, you know. So yeah. Dr. Impossible to Paul. No, Freddie Francis' son was asking for significant amounts for distribution rights. The Ghoul did get a VHS release in the UK, right? But it's never going to happen unless he reconsiders his position. Yeah, this is the thing, isn't it, with these rights and that, these licenses, you know, you get a lot of hullabaloo with them, don't you? You know, arguing and that, you know, that's why a lot of the Hammer movies, when they first came out, they were scattered about, weren't they? You know, they weren't sort of like all under one label. You know, you could get one here, one there, one in America, one in Germany. You know, the licensing, it all comes down to the licensing, doesn't it? You know, I believe they're having the same problem with the, you know, Scream Factory. A lot of people want them to do a Nightmare on Elm Street box set. But again, it's all down to rights, you know, all the complicated legislation, you know, involving the rights and that, yeah. So, I think it'll be a while if we ever do see a box set of Nightmare on Elm Street from Scream Factory. Dr. Impossible, I still have the pre-cert rank video releases of The Ghoul and Legend of the Werewolf, 2 great movies, and as I say, yeah, long overdue, Doctor, for a real good Blu-ray release, but it could happen. Brian Gilson to play Tendo Guy. Jeffrey Dean Morgan would be good as the Wolfman. Right. Richard Brown, does Wolverine count as a werewolf? That's the character from the Marvel universe, isn't it? I don't really know too much about Wolverine, so I can't really comment on that, unfortunately. Brian Gilson says, have you seen the TV show Being Human? No. It's about a ghost, a vampire and a werewolf living together in a house. I haven't seen that one, Brian. No, I haven't seen that one. I'll have to check that one out. Yeah. Anyway, thanks for stopping by again, guys. I'm really enjoying it, yeah. You know, fascinating subject, you know, werewolf movies and that. Talk till the cows come home about werewolf movies, yeah. So, and as I say, this book, if you love werewolf movies, I highly recommend, you know, you get yourself a copy of this book. It's a fantastic book. I'm just going to have another deco through it and shout out a couple of more movies and let me know if they ring a bell with you. Lindsay Lohan, Among the Shadows. Have you seen that one? Among the Shadows, Lindsay Lohan. I haven't seen it. The Snarling. I think I saw that a couple of years ago. It didn't impress me. The Snarling. There's one there. Talk about Dances with Wolves. Dances with Werewolves. Yeah, that's the same. Really made up with this book. It's a fantastic book on the whole history of werewolf movies. There's an unusual one there. FDR, American Badass. Yeah, haven't seen that one either. American Badass. Right, back to the comments, guys. Right, Zammy Adams. Evening, Alan and everyone. You okay, Zammy? Thanks for dropping by. Nice to see you. Tony Crosby, Wolfie on Citizen Smith. Power to the people. Oh, Robert Lindsay, yeah. I tell you, I used to like Robert Lindsay and Get Some In. He was great in that, wasn't he? Yeah, yeah. But I remember Citizen Smith, yeah. Power to the people, yeah. God. Mac tonight. Hounds of the Baskervilles with Cushing and Lee. Yeah, great movie, great movie. And the dog with the coat on is the beast. Yeah, definitely, yeah. Very, very atmospheric movie, that. And Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing, as usual, really on the money, you know, in the roles and that, yeah. Oh, I love that one. Hound of the Baskervilles. Dr. Impossible. Well, it's not a werewolf film, but I'll settle for both the 1940s Cat People from RKO and the Universal remake from 1982. Natasha Kinski was so sexy, right? Richard Brown. Didn't the woman in Citizen Smith call him Foxy, not Wolfie? I can't remember. It's years since I saw Citizen Smith. I didn't really watch every episode either, so I didn't watch that as much as I watched Get Some In. I used to love Corporal Marsh and Get Some In. Tony Selby. He was always shouting at them, wasn't he? Very much like Windsor Davis in It Ain't Half Hot Mum. Remember him? Yeah. And do you remember the song he made in the summer of 1975, Whispering Grass? Yeah. I will not have gossip in this jungle, boy. Oh, fantastic, yeah. Loved that, yeah. Yeah, got to #1, that, Whispering Grass, yeah. That Lottie had a great voice, didn't he? Oh, fantastic voice he had, yeah. Loved that song. Mac tonight, we need more female werewolves. Yeah, there hasn't been all that many. I remember one called The She-Wolf of London. I think it was a Universal one made in, was it 1943 or 44? She-Wolf of London, yeah. But other than that, no. Oh, the one at the Howling, the girl that was in Cujo. She turned into a rather like cute werewolf, didn't she? Yeah, yeah. But apart from that, yeah, I can't really think of a female. Is there any in Twilight? I presume they are female werewolves in Twilight. I'm not a big fan of Twilight because I don't like me horror. It's soppy and full of poster boys and poster girls and that, not much story. I've never been a big fan of Twilight. I think they dilute the horror too much in that. What do you think, guys, of Twilight? Do you like it? Oh, I'm not a fan. Tony Crosby to Richard Brown, both, I think. Mac tonight, you're in the army now. Get some in, yeah. It's time for national service now. Get some in. That was what they used to say, wasn't it? Sort of like the theme and that. When it used to break off and that. Time for national service now. Get some in. Oh yeah. Fond memories of watching that when I was a teenager, I tell you. Mac tonight, Whispering Grass with Donna Stell. That's it. Donna Stell. Yeah, wonderful song. My old man just do a fantastic impression. Mike Yarwood, Needn't Worry, or Rory Bremner. But yeah, I used to love that. I wasn't too keen, I must admit, on It Ain't Half Hot Mum. I wasn't a big fan of it, but I did love that song. I thought he did a great job with that. Windsor Davis and Donna Stell, yeah. And he done another one, done a sequel, a follow-up to that, Paper Doll. It never got anywhere. I think that was released in September 75. If my memory serves me correctly, I'm going to buy a paper doll that I can call my own. I have a fickle-minded real-life girl. Yeah, it didn't get it. It was nowhere near as big as Whispering Grass. Richard Brown, bet you remember Robert Lindsay's wife, Cheryl Hall, Alan. Wasn't Cheryl Hall in Lucky Fella with David Jason? Cheryl Hall, the blonde girl he was after. Yeah, I don't remember too much about Robert Lindsay's character in that series, what you're referring to, but I'm sure she's the same girl that was in Lucky Fella with David Jason. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm sure it's the same girl. That's a great series, guys. Lucky Fella, first shown in the autumn of 1976. Yeah, David Jason before he went, became famous as Del Boy. That's a great one, that. Yeah, Tony Crosby, another great hit from 1975 was If by Telly Savalas. Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. 1975 had some great songs, didn't it? Yeah, Discotheques and the Sexy Let's Get Dancing. Oh, there's loads, yeah. As you just said, Telly Savalas, you know, Guys and Dolls, There's a Whole Lot of Loving Going On. Oh yeah, it was a good year, 75, yeah. And he's that one, Cozy Powell, na 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 na. That was a good one. That was a great one. That Cozy Powell's Hammer. Yeah, remember Cozy Powell? He was a drummer. He done that song, instrumental Dance with the Devil. That was a great one. That. Yeah, oh, 1975 was a great year for music. He had what's the name, didn't you? The Last Farewell, Roger Whittaker, and Sailing, Rod Stewart, and that. Yeah, John Miles as well. High Fly. Oh, remember all them? Yeah, Susan Cadogan, Love Me Baby. Yeah, It Hurts So Good. Tell you what, guys, the memories are flooding back tonight. Yeah, they were all popular them in the school playground. Richard Brown, Telly Savalas could have played a bald. He could have played a bald werewolf, yeah. He would have needed some hairy story, I think. Mac Tonight, Grandpa, We Love You with Clive Dunn. Now that's some wonderful tune. Oh, Grandad, you're lovely, yeah. Yeah, if my memory serves me correctly, it was at 1971. You know what always amazed me about that Grandad, Clive Dunn? How you made him look old? He was only in his 40s, wasn't he, when he made that song? Yeah, oh yeah, great the way they done it, like, made him look old, like a real granddad, yeah, loved that one, Grandad, yeah, novelty song, like that other one, St. Winifred's School Choir, Grandma, We Love You, 1980, remember that one? Yeah, oh, I love the novelty songs, I really do. I'll tell you one of my favourite novelty songs, guys, going back, I don't know if you guys know this one, going back to the 1960s, You're the Lady That I Love, Cinderella Rockefeller. That's a great one. That you don't need to get played much on the wireless. Yeah, You're the Lady That I Love. It's a great one. That yeah, you want to check that one out. It's great. Type it in on YouTube and you get them up singing it. Oh, remember Renee, talking about duos? Remember Renee and Renato, Save Your Love? I think that was Christmas 1982, if my memory serves me correctly. He got a lot of stick, didn't he, with having that pullover on, the the chubby guy, he had a pullover on, he got a lot of stick, but he had a fantastic voice, didn't he? He really did. I used to love, any of you guys remember an instrumental called The Crunch by the Raw Band from 1977? Oh, I loved that tune. That's one of my all-time favourite instrumentals, that. Yeah, The Crunch, the Raw Band. It's a great tune, that. I'll tell you what I like as well, guys, going back to 1975. The what's the name? Kraftwerk one, Autobahn. That's a good one. Yeah. Another great hit from 1975. Sammy Adams, Can't Stand Twilight. Absolute crap, yeah. Have you seen Straight On Till Morning? 1972. It's great. Is that the one with Rita Tushingirin, where she stays in this young guy's flat? I'm sure that's the one. Yeah, Studio Canal. Yeah, it's okay. It's not one of my favourites. I think that's the one you mean. Straight On Till Morning. Yeah. I don't remember the guy in it. Is he a blonde guy? He's a blonde guy, isn't he? But I think Rita Tushingirin was in it. Mac Tonight, Windsor Davis in Ain't Half Hot One and Never the Twain, talented guy and a superior tash, yeah, and very, very Welsh boy, oh, very, very Welsh, oh yes, and what I've not gossip in this jungle. Oh, he's great, Windsor Davis. Paul Conway, Children of the Full Moon is fun with Diana Dawes. It's great, that one, Paul, yeah, that's one of my all-time favourites, Hammer Horror episodes, that, Children of the Full Moon, yeah, Diana Dawes, really on the money in that. Creepy woman with all the kids in the country house and that. Ooh. Oh yeah, that's a great series, that Hammer House of Horror. I wish they'd bring out that other Hammer series, Journey to the Unknown. That was a great little series. It was first shown, I think it was in 1969, and it had quite a stellar cast as well. You know, Dennis Waterman, Carol Lindley, people like that. And it starts off, guys, with like a night time. They'd have like a creepy fairground and that, and there'd be nobody in the fairground and that, and show you the wheel and that, you know, the Mexican hat and that. Oh, it's real creepy. You know, it had like a whistling tune as well. You know, it's sort of like, oh, how did it go? Something like that. Yeah, that was the theme tune. Yeah, very creepy. Yeah, so if any labels are watching, you know, give that one the Blu-ray release that it deserves. Yeah, it's a great little series, that Journey to the Unknown. Some fantastic stories, some very creepy stories as well, let me tell you. Right, Dr. Impossible is saying, just thinking Doctor Who had another werewolf in a story called The Greatest Show in the Galaxy. Mags was the name of the werewolf, and the makeup was pretty decent, right? Mac tonight, Don't Give Up on Us Baby. Now that's a song that me and my missus got groovy to. David Soul, yeah. Silver Lady as well, September 1977. Used to love David Soul, he had a great voice. The other one as well, It Sure Brings Out the Love in Your Eyes in 1978, that was good. And This Time I'm Going In With My Eyes Open, yeah. Oh yeah, he's great, David Soul. Fantastic in Starsky and Hutch. And he was great in Salem's Lot as well. Yeah, he played Ben Mears. Right, guys, I've just got another just over 10 minutes to go, so I'll finish at 10 o'clock. As I say, get as many questions in as you like. Feel free to ask me anything at all, you know, and I'd be very happy to answer them. Yeah, I've enjoyed it anyway. Thanks again for turning up. Tony Crosby, discotheque's great. My chiffon is wet, my dear. Great line from Get Dancing. Yeah. Right. Mac Tonight, Get It On by T-Rex lovers. Oh, now you're talking. Mark Bolan, T-Rex are one of my all-time favourite 70s glam rock groups. Love Mark Bolan, and I was very, very upset when he got killed, you know, in September 77, not long after Elvis, you know. Oh yeah, fantastic Mark Bolan. I've got his show. I've got the show he made just before he died, you know, the Mark show, what he done for Granada, and oh yeah, got some great guests on that as well. Oh yeah, love Mark Bolan. Ride the White Swan. That guitar riff is one of my all-time favourite guitar riffs, that, in Ride the White Swan. Love Metal Guru, Telegram Sam, The Soul of My Suit, Teenage, Whatever Happened to the Teenage Dream. I thought he was a fantastic singer, Mark Bolan. Yeah, not everybody's cup of tea, mind you. You know, he did get a lot of criticism when he came out, but I love him. I put him right up there with Noddy Older and Brian Connolly, you know. Noddy from Slade, of course, and Brian Connolly from The Sweet, yeah. Oh, absolute fantastic pop star. Children of the Revolution, that's another big favourite of mine. Right, Richard Brown saying, I saw Cozy Powell with Black Sabbath and with the Brian May group. Excellent drummer, yeah. I tell you, he's a good artist, guys. He's very talented. Dave Edmunds. Any fans of Dave Edmunds here? Dave Edmunds and his group Rockpile. He's good, yeah. I knew the bride when she used to rock and roll. And Gale Talk. That's a great one, that Gale Talk, yeah. And of course, his most famous one, I hear you knocking, but you can't come in. Yeah, from 1970. Oh, he's great, Dave Edmunds, yeah. Very, very talented and very underrated as well. Yeah, love Dave Edmunds. Mac Tonight, Bang Bang by B.A. Robertson. Oh, I love that one, yeah. And yeah, Cool in the Kafkan. He was in, I said this before, he was in that horror movie, The Monster Club, with Vincent Price. He was performing in the nightclub, B.A. Robertson, yeah. To Be or Not To Be is my favourite B.A. Robertson song, yeah. Yeah, Bang Bang by B.A. Robertson. Now, that's a saucy song. Bang Bang, The Mighty Fall, When Love Was Called, yeah. Yeah, the summer of it, if my memory serves me correctly, the summer of 1979, yeah. Yeah, I think he's still going, you know, B.A. Robertson. Yeah, he was Scotch, wasn't he? Gerard is a movie fan. Till the next one, Alan and others. Think I'm not. Can see the last part. Eyes closing, almost on their own. I have a few things on paper. Always have paper and pen next to laptop. See you all. Oh, thanks very much, Gerard. Thanks for turning up. Have a nice weekend and all going well. I'll talk to you again in the next live stream. Take care. Bye. Tony Crosby, The Crunch is one of my all-time favourites, yeah. Along with Oxygen, that's another great one. Oxygen, yeah, love that one. By Jean-Michel Jarre, yeah, great, yeah. Anybody remember 1977, Fanfare for the Common Man? Emerson, Lake and Palmer, yeah. That was the year I left school, 1977, and all those songs, you know, they're on the radio constantly, you know. Oh, that another novelty song, Naughty, 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 was it Joe Sarn, yeah, about it was like about Punch the Puppets. That was great. That Naughty, 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 yeah, that was a great one. Joe Sarney, I think her name was. Yeah, she only had the one hit. That was always on the wireless. That Naughty, 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 yeah, and she was on top of the pops with the puppets and that. Yeah, I used to love that one. Naughty, 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 yeah. Oh, gotta tell you, there's some great songs then, guys, wasn't it, in the 70s? Of course, you had Johnny Rotten, didn't you? God Save the Queen and all that, and Prissy Vacants, yeah. I always remember I remember the sturdy cause when they were on Bill Grundy's show, and he came out with F, and it was shocked everybody because it wasn't very common then, was it? As it is now, swearing on television and that. But yeah, the Sex Pistols were on, and they caused a sensation, you know, coming out with F on the Bill Grundy show. Yeah, oh, I remember that. It was yesterday. And he went into what's the name there, didn't he? Johnny Rotten, John Linden, his name is. Public Image. Yeah. Could be wrong. That was a hit he had in it. Was it 1986? Could be wrong. Yeah. He's wrote his biography as well, hasn't he? Gary Taylor. I just watched the late phases on 101 Films. Great werewolf movie. Yeah. Tony Crosby, On the Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia. Oh, good old Lon Chaney, yeah. Christmas 1975, although of course the song was much older than that. I think it was 1940. Was it 1940 or 41? Yeah, I used to love Lon Chaney, yeah. The Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia. And when Ollie it's stand on the head, and he goes into that falsetto voice, yeah, and then he falls on the floor, doesn't he? And Ollie goes, oh, fantastic, yeah. Oh, the memories are coming back tonight, guys, I tell you. Mac Tonight is saying, back in the 70s and 80s, the actors and singers were way more talented than most of the faces these days, yeah. Any fans of Mary Hopkin here? She was one of my all-time favourites female singers growing up, and I had a big crush on Mary Hopkin. Oh, yeah. She, for me, growing up, like, you know, as a young boy, she personified everything I loved in a female pop singer. She had a lovely voice. She was lovely looking. She had lovely long blonde hair. She's a very nice person. And that song what she made, Those Were the Days, My Friend. Oh, magic, yeah. I remember it being on Opportunity Knocks with Huey Green winning, and she was in the Eurovision Song Contest, wasn't she? Knock Knock, yeah. Oh, love Mary Hopkin, yeah. Lovely voice, yeah. Fantastic singer. Worked with Paul McCartney as well on a song. Yeah, it was a Goodbye. I think it was Goodbye, yeah. On the Apple label. Oh yeah, love Mary Hopkin. I like Tina Charles as well. I Love to Love, But My Baby Loves to Dance. Remember her? Tina Charles, yeah. I bought all her records, yeah. Dance Little Lady Dance, Rendezvous, 1977. Oh yeah, I love Tina Charles. Gloria Gaynor, I like Gloria Gaynor as well. Yeah, I Never Can Say Goodbye, love that one. Yeah, and the one she done a cover version, didn't she, of Reach Out, I'll Be There with the Four Tops song, yeah, in 1975. Love that one as well. And of course, I Will Survive in early 79, yeah. Catching up with the comments, guys. Richard Brown, whistling like Roger Whittaker there too, Alan, yeah. Oh, yeah. He was a good whistler, Roger Whittaker, wasn't he, yeah. I used to love him singing The Last Farewell. That was a great one. And he got to #1 with that, didn't he, in August? It was August 75, yeah. He's great, Roger Whittaker, yeah. And I liked him singing that one as well, Durham Town. And I Don't Believe in If Anymore. He made some fantastic songs, Roger Whittaker. Very, very talented artist, yeah. Gary Tilley, I wish they would release Legend of the Werewolf, yeah, same here, with Peter Cushing and Ron Moody, the one set in the zoo. I know, yeah, definitely. Totally agree with you, Gary, mate. Mac Tonight, Spice Girls, no thanks, they can go back to selling their spices in Tesco's. Talentless they are. Pete saying, fantastic stream, Alan. Oh, thanks very much, Pete. Yeah, thanks for turning up, yeah, as always, yeah. Yeah, great topics and a lot of fun. Yeah, thanks. Take care and have a great weekend. Oh, thanks very much, Peace. Yeah, have a great weekend yourself. And if you do any Blu-ray hunting, I hope you pick up some bargains. Yeah, thanks for turning up, mate. Yeah, take care, mate. Right. Fazbear Brothers is saying, what werewolf film would you say is the best? The Wolfman. But beyond a shadow of a doubt, the original Wolfman from 1941. I've said it before, and I've got to say it again. Starring the late great Lon Chaney Jr. There he is, guys, the greatest Wolfman ever. You know, in my book. Yeah, and of course, coming a very, very close second, American Werewolf in London, and you want to add Oliver Reed, Curse of the Werewolf. Yeah, so those three movies, the Wolfman. As I've just said, the Curse of the Werewolf and American Werewolf in London, they're my all-time top three werewolf movies, yeah, definitely. But Lon Chaney Jr. is my number one Wolfman. Matt tonight, we need a T-Rex biopic. Yeah, very talented lad. Yeah, taken far too soon. Yeah. Tony saying, yeah, oh, Solid Gold, easy action, yeah. Oh, God, you're evoking the memories now, all right, so. Solid Gold, easy action and 20th Century Boy, yeah. Are my favourites, yeah. Oh, yeah, I love Mark Bolan, yeah. Fantastic singer. Mac tonight, Sweet and Blockbuster, yeah. Yeah, does anyone know the way? Yeah. You better beware, you better take care if you've got long black hair, yeah. Oh, pure magic, yeah. I tell you, while we're on the subject of the Sweet, Mac, that I thought that was a pretty good one what they made. Turn It Down, it didn't get very high, did it? I think that came out in was it October 74? Yeah, Turn It Down, that was a great one, that. And that one they had in 1975, Action, that was a good one. What I liked about the Sweets, they could do the soft melodic songs like Alexander Graham Bell, Wigwam Bam, Papa Joe, but they could also turn their hands to heavy rock. You know, and I thought that was great. That, you know, I like the two sides of Sweets. I like the soft, you know, if you like bubblegum pop like Little Willie, Wigwam Bam, Alexander Graham Bell, and I also like the hard rock side of Sweets with Hellraiser, Ballroom Blitz. Love Ballroom Blitz. Yeah, as I say, Action and Turn It Down. And do you remember the 16s? From July 74? Yeah, you're all one of the 16s. That was a great one, that. I used to love the Sweets. Great group. Right, guys, it's nearly 10 o'clock, so I'll get through as many of these as I can. And again, thanks very much for turning up. I've enjoyed it. Right, Paul Conway, have you seen Moon of the Wolf starring David Jansen? I referred to that one before, yeah. It's just come out on Blu-ray, yeah. He's good actor, David Jansen. Brian Gilson, do you like the Cure band? Yeah, I'm not really familiar with them, Brian, the Cure band, but I have heard of them. I don't really know too much about them. Richard Brown, the Sweets, now you're talking, Alan. Yeah, fantastic, the Sweets. Yeah, I like them singing Coco as well. That's a good one. Their B-sides were good as well. Paul Conway, are you a Debbie Harry Blondie fan? I like some of her songs. Yeah, I'm not a fanatic on her, but I like a few of her songs. You know, I think Sunday Girl's the most played one, isn't it? Matt tonight, oh yeah, Debbie Harry, she's fine. She used to be Playboy Bunny before hitting the big time. That's where she got inspiration for the song Call Me, yeah. She was in, what's her name as well, wasn't it? Was it Tales from the Dark Side where she played the witch, like a Hansel and Gretel? Tony Crosby, Joyce Sarney, hard to get now, yeah, that's it. Joyce Sarney, she sang Naughty, Naughty, Naughty. She had the punch puppets, yeah. That was great, that one. Naughty, Naughty, yeah, love that one. Matt tonight, Friggin' in the Riggin', I don't know that one, because we got F All Else to Do. Now that's a song, I'm not too familiar with that, mate. Moving on. Matt tonight, give us a bit of Devil Woman with Cliff Richard. Oh, sorry, I can't. Matt tonight, the singers were actually stylish and great looking back then, yeah. Singers down look trashy with awful fashion style, yeah. Anybody remember Kenny from the mid 70s? They sang The Bump and Fancy Pants. Oh, I love Fancy Pants. Early 1975, yeah. And Julianne, that's a good one. Great, yeah. Love Kenny. Slick were good as well, guys. The Scotch group Slick, they sang Forever and Ever. Alright then, guys, I'm going to wind it up now, yeah? So thanks again, guys, for coming along. I've really enjoyed chatting about werewolf movies and that. And I might do another werewolf theme stream at some point in the future. Next week, it might be about vampire movies. I haven't really decided yet. But I am toying with the idea of doing a vampire special. So if you love vampire movies and that, you know, Christopher Lee, Bela Lugosi, general vampire movies, you might like to come along for that. But as I say, I haven't decided for definite, but there's a strong chance I might opt for that one. Yeah. All right then, guys. So I'm going to wrap it up now. So as I say, these books here, I hope you enjoyed me showing you them. That's a great one, that, and a bit of shameless self promotion, if you don't mind. My novella, Werewolf Nightmare. I'll leave links to both books anyway, guys, in the description, yeah. So thanks again, guys. I've really enjoyed it, and if you do any Blu-ray or DVD hunting over the next couple of days, I hope you manage to pick up some bargains, some good movies and that. And okay, have a nice weekend, and thanks for coming along. I've really enjoyed chatting to you all, and take care, and I'll be back with you again, all going well, next Thursday at 8 o'clock for another live stream. Take care, guys. Bye.